I am so excited because today is the day that my collaboration with Emily Stone of Collage Soup has come to fruition. Um, a while back, I had mentioned to her about how she should do a book on birds, and she asked me if we could collaborate, and I could help her curate this book for her. She does all the work. I just did the curation in terms of like, hey, let's put this in there, let's put that. But what a beautiful job she did. I am in love with this book. It's super cute. I am truly a bird nerd, and that's why I was like, we have to call it Bird Nerds. But anyway, I just wanted to share it with you, and just how amazing it is. I actually just did a spread with this last night. It came out really cute, so I'll show you that. And I just thought we could do a page in one of my collage journals together, just to give you an idea of how I like to play with these books. But I gotta say, like, I asked for two because some of these I almost want to frame. Like, I just love how they came out. The colors, the combinations of everything. I just think they're so cool. So I'll show you my spreads. Here we go. I did this spread last night, so I only just got the book at like 8 o'clock last night, and it is only, like 10 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't have a ton of time to create, but I had this background all ready to go, and I saw this beautiful, it looks like a pelican of sorts, but I don't think it is. I think it's a stork. Anyway, so I just wanted to put this spread together, and I used some of the other Collage Soup people because I've been getting the books. They're just so amazing, and I've been having so much fun. And then just now I did this spread with these really pretty pelicans, and just having fun with all the colors and all that stuff. So I thought we could do a little bit here. I think I just knocked the camera. I'm going to move it closer anyway so you can see. So I have the book here, and I'm just going to page through. I'll try not to make this take too long because, I'm sure you don't want to see me cutting paper all day. But there really are so many pretty pages and ways to go. I liked this one I saw before, and I think I'm going to pick this. I think I saw a couple of things that might work. So I'm going to cut this out. I thought I saw something else that would be good. What I've been doing too as I work is that because the pages are so full of texture and printing, I save the bits because they're also so good for adding to the backgrounds. So I'll save my scraps for the backgrounds too. I'm just looking and seeing. Yeah, like this could all be good in here. So I'm going to pull some of this out so I have some bits. And we tried to do a good mixture of birds with glasses, some weird, silly ones, some beautiful ones, some realistic things, just to have, like a really good mix of stuff. I think maybe I'll do a nest. I don't really think too much about how I'm going to create a spread. I just kind of go for it. And, pretty much I'll just start with the focal point. So if this bird lady is going to be my focal point, then I'll look at it and just get some ideas for color stories. So I'll kind of build on it there. And because my background is full of turquoise and I've got some pink in there, then I just thought I'll kind of try to offset that. I cut off her feet just because I might put her at the bottom of the page. And I cut out this nest. Whenever there is this kind of stuff going on, what I'll do is I'll eliminate all the little tiny pieces that are sticking out, and I'll just kind of roughly cut in a wavy way, and that kind of keeps it going. So, yeah. So already I kind of like how that looks. Now the cool thing is I have all this here from another spread. So I cut out something in here, but now there's all these kind of random bits that I can incorporate into my collage, which I think is pretty cool. I love this like French looking bit down here. So I'll just kind of play around with you know, placement, where I want to put things, and I'll tear things so there's some roughness. Not always, but I'll tend to tear like elements that are supposed to be part of the background. It just depends. Sometimes I'll cut them all out. So I'm just going to glue this on here. Wonder how fast I can do this. I like challenging myself. Like, how fast can you create a super cool collage? And, you know, I think I've said this before in other videos. People tend to audition things a lot. And while that can be fun and that can actually be very relaxing because it's kind of just playing around with imagery, as long as you're enjoying that process, then I say go for it. But if auditioning pieces tends to slow your process down and make you second guess like where you should put things, then I give myself like a minute or so to just decide on something, and then I just put it down and glue it, because sometimes the more you deliberate, it just reinforces this idea that there's a right way to do things. And, you know, if you keep telling yourself there's a right way and a wrong way, then you'll second guess, like, am I doing it the right way or the wrong way? And I know my hands are covered in paint and stuff because I've been working all mornings, so you'll have to excuse me. So, like, right and wrong way. This nest could go many places. It could go there, like a moon shape. Like, I love doing stuff like that. I could cluster this over here a little bit. It could get clustered into there, which I kind of like. It could get clustered with some more things under her skirt. So again, there's no right or wrong way. You can move things around and then just make a decision, because once you make it, then you just have to move on and do something else. So you can see I'm saving some of my clippings from other spreads. And some of these pages, like, you'll see some of the repetition, like, of figures and focal points. Some will get cut off because they're just bigger than the page, but I like to just roll with that. So, like, for example, this guy here, his beak got trimmed because he was on the end of the border of the page. but I don't have to let that stop me from using him. He's still usable. What I'll do is often say, okay, so that is someone who's going to be facing the edge of the page somewhere, so that it just looks like it was meant to be that way. So he, you know, I would put him here, and I wouldn't put him over here, so that is, I mean, it kind of, it's not too big a deal, actually, his beak. It just looks like he's some weird bird anyway. But if I put him here, then it looks intentional. So just things to think about. And I'm going to use him so he doesn't go to waste. So I'll put him just like that. I'll put him on the side of my page. So just like that. And he's tall and she's short, so it kind of all works together. So just trying to get it so his head is just right on the side of my page. If you have any glue that's coming out along the side, just rub real hard until it goes away. So you can see it starts to dry out and you can rub it off. Because if you're going to do anything else on top of this, the glue will create a resist. So like if I go to doodle or do some shading, you just don't want the glue there because it's hard to write over glue or doodle over glue. So now I still want her to be my focal point. So if I put her up here, it's just weird. But because there's some movement here, like she's kind of looking up at this guy, that means that she can be lower. So I'm going to put this bird down here and glue her going from the bottom. So she's lower. And again, just having clusters and some asymmetrical movement can be helpful in collage. So I like that. That's, you know, it almost looks like she's looking up at this other bird. I really am covered in glue, so I'm getting it all over the pages. So I'm just rubbing it away. Okay, and you can see how I'm choosing things, like this is such a blue background, so I'm choosing things that pop with that. So this is like a dark yellow, some rusty pinks. These are all kind of opposites of the blue on the color wheel, and they really help everything pop. So what I also like to do is add my own marks. So collage can be many things, you know. Lots of people will just do all collage, which I think is fine and awesome. But I like to put my own stamp on things, literally. So it's almost like graffiti art. When I was growing up, I was a huge, huge, huge Keith Haring fan. Like I used to go to the Village in New York City and visit the Pop Shop, which was his retail store. It was like my favorite thing to do. I'm just a big, big fan. And I love the simplicity of his art. And, you know, it really, as I got older, I realized that the art of doodling, which is very much kind of like what Keith Haring did, is kind of important to me. And it is kind of like graffiti in a way. You're tagging the art with your own motifs, things that, you know, are unique to you. And so that's kind of why I like to add my doodles. Plus it's just soothing. So I'm just going to add those. I'll let this dry and outline it because it really is kind of lost in there. And, you know, sometimes I'll add it in other places just for fun. But again, it's kind of getting lost right now because I'm doodling on stuff that's so busy. But actually that's a good thing because it won't be so bold or compete with the focal point. It'll blend into the background. And I like to doodle with Posca pens because I know a lot of people ask me what you like to use. This is not quite dry, but I'm going to try and make it work here. Depending on what you're using, you really want to make sure that you're, in this case, my doodle paint is dry. So the Posca is acrylic. I just want to make sure it's dry before I doodle over top of it. But now, by going back over with some more doodles in a darker color, it really starts to pull the doodles together. You can see them more prominently. And I'm, you know, not trying to be super neat and perfect because I'm rushing, but that's not exactly a doodly way to go about things anyway. This is still really drying. So I can try. This is a very wet ink marker, so that's why it's kind of, it's like a gel. This is super wet. This is super wet. And you can ruin your pens by doing this, so you just want to kind of make sure you're restarting them when you do this. If it's, I mean, you shouldn't need to rush anyway, right? Unless you're impatient. So, you know, again, one of the things I like to do is just doodle. And I'm kind of following the same principles. Like I'm keeping clusters of things. And then for me personally, I always like to leave space somewhere in the center for me to add writing and that sort of thing. So I have some more of this border. So another thing I'll do sometimes is take these shapes and cut scallops into them and make them more of a like patterny kind of design. Or, you know, I could cut this into a cloud shape on the top there. But I think what I'm going to do, since I tore all the other pieces, is I want to be pretty congruent. So I want to do the same thing. But I don't like when the top is just completely open. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this at the top. Because I'm going over a crease, I'll shove it into the crease a little bit and pull it over. So that way when you open and close, it kind of is already ready to do that. I'm just going to trim it. And then, you know, again, I'll probably keep adding a couple more doodles depending on what I want to do, where I want to go, marks. And I usually add writing somewhere in there, either my own writing or, you know, I have tons of word and phrase stencils that are really important to me. So I'll put those in there just to kind of finish it off. I personally always feel like I need some sort of words when I finish something. It's just really important to me. It's not necessary by any means. But again, I like the idea of leaving some space for writing. So I'll probably do that. And again, just add more doodles to kind of pull it all together and make it make sense. So I hope you enjoyed this little play session. And the book is available on Amazon, so I'll put the link in the description. And there's tons more collage soup books out there. They're all really fun. But I really hope there's some more fellow bird nerds out there that will just love this collaboration. It was just so much fun. And I just thought, oh my gosh, definitely need a really fun book with all kinds of fun bird paraphernalia in it. So had so much fun. I'm so grateful to Emily for including me in her process, and I hope you enjoy our book. Go grab one. They're awesome, and enjoy, have fun.